Walking under the shadows of thy moon, of thy wineskin, spirit of love of God, brought thy light through thy darkness, laying down those prowling wolves with the gentleness of thy pressure to thy seas. Found in thy streams of the overflowing rivers, always had an oversight of thy future. All my life has security of the saints in God, and all his people around me dwells in my innermost being of my very strongholds to thy ones without strength. Israel's army that will not tarry, my feet won't fail nor slip. My words will never perish, they hated me and whitewashed my name, dripping of thy raw blood upon my fingertips. Mighty of the afflicted in the midnight, hit 'em with the air of thy AR, faucet of the fierceness of thy fires. You try to play checkmate with thy chains of thy life, like playing dice. Invincible, immovable, endurance achieves thy strength with thy full armor of Christ himself. Mighty miracles of thy works of thy hands, in universal apathy of thy justice, glory and plenty sound knowledge is thy strength of thy mind. Heart and faithfulness of thy true loyalty of true love conquers all. God's love will lay down thy very evil upon thy lambs. And nothing is impossible when you're walking with the Messiah, Jesus Christ. He calls to thy hunter to lay down the whispers of thy death adder, while the vipers creep through the cracks of the firewood kindle, surrounding thy very earth with thy vapors of thy unseen wickedness. A curse spread through thy lands, had to put them in remembrance of why I came. Lay them down with the subservience of thy iron, rods of thy axe of bronze, crocodiles, rows of thy shields, shining wheels inside a wheel, put in array of thy white, of thy very booths and their stations, forever dumb tongue shall sing and bow, kneel thy and hear thy words indeed, in the brightness of the golden splendor of the setulars of good news of God, in every earthly spirit reaching out to all the isles of the coastlands, voice of thy heavenly spirits trained in thy kingdoms, my whole life made complete. The kingdom palace of imperial gates on high, set me on the dangerous grounds of the wickedness to see the things that they do. I hold the mirror of his eyes, witnessing to all this. Upon my mountains of thy trees, my hands in his side, bringing down those with hauntly looks. For love breaks thy curses of thy very illusions, of thy sorcery, of the godless curses. I leap over the walls, prowling thy cities like these dogs. Lord, taught and thought and planned accordingly, my soles of my feet shall not slip. nor shall they touch the grounds of these very graves. For they judged me before they ever knew or recognized or understood the whole time a prophet among them, angel like, marrow and bones of our flesh. Discipline and strictly of correction melted the vagabonds of our people with a sound melody of the gospel. This is not physical, this is unseen, spiritual good warfare of the nine monsters of the government spies. Fall into thy lust and greed of grain and strong drink of a ruler, self-sufficient, not lacking. Ate my spiritual bread and know nothing about. These souls are wanting of the vexations of thy souls, going forth into battle in a wicked state of mind. Melody of God's philosophy. Lay down thy demons, putting them in places of thy slippery slopes, putting Satan at my feet. Better think again and watch out for my right. If you thought I was an enemy of my Father, think again, for you shall not think I'm no enemy. If you do, you reject my Father, Christ Jesus, and very self. Laying sin at my feet. Better think again and watch out for my right. The head and chief cornerstone, who burns the fierceness of thy thunders and lies. Doubt me and watch how fast the miracles come and rising up thy ruins, holding thy grounds of thy porcupine and hedgehogs of the pool waters, sweeping away thy marshes, fleeing and standing firm and strong on my foundation, achieving strength. Laying the seraphims down and hurling them into destruction, assembling all the people, raising thy tomblit stones of thy ancient of thy own. For the rising of Christ has come. Count down and lay and beating them small, slaying them with them, slaying them one by one, casting nets of millstones hurled into the Mediterranean seas. Autumn corkers, unpacking all the baggages, consistently, diligently cleaving strong to my Lord, who had given me help in my weariness and faintest stage. Memory of Edom's fragments of pits of dust, like the sprinkle on the balances of thy earth. Measuring utensils to plummet thy stones of confusion, of reflectiveness of thy spiritual innermost self. All these prophecies come and pass in the chaos of the apathy, taught of justice and right standing with Christ. Healing the brokenness of thy bodies, bent backwards and forward at the hands of the evildoer of men's hearts. 12 years bled in fight, earnestly earning the scars of thy very roots of thy bitterness for the sake of my peace. Cutting and burning the logs of the fire, unknotting and knotting of the chains, rising the ministries of God, the good gospel of Christ. Parallax of thy parables, of thy very divine pattern, inspiration, godly skillful craftiness, scourging and brandishing thy branches, shooting forth, burning out of control like a brambling bush upon thy forest, cleaving and muzzling thy tongues of the false ones, tribal kinsmen of thy knighthood of Christ Messiah, warrior king. None in likeness nor in uniqueness, irreplaceable of a familiar friend. Digging thy pits and planning thy funeral, beating me and trying to kill me. Dealing in thy sorcery of thy cunning, tongues of the charmers who wink with their eyes. For his tail, cedars from the tombs, calling thy Caesarean. Honorable and ranking stones of thy ice in the winter so cold. To thy summer of thy drought, of the sourness and vileness of the foods upon my lands, roll like fine linen clothes and rocks of my fortress, strength of faith to faith. First class soldiers shall rise to the melody of thy humbleness, of the power of love. Lord Jesus of Nazareth, utterly amazed and struck with the terror of an unapproachable light. Like singering of thy sandals, too big on thy feet, rare perfumes sprinkled not of cheap oils of thy omniscience, of the frankincense. Learning of chronicles of God is thy madness, of the philosophy of my father. Shepherds of farmhands are very few, 212 complete in their booths, standing ready in thy fields. Of thy fig trees and the toiling of thy lilies, try to cage me like a Lazarus of pain, shame, and guilt. Have something I did not weep nor sow. Of thy potter's hands and spit on my name, come do it face to face. Beyond doubt, I am a prophet of thy Lord. You know me as little as you know my father who made haze there. Thou call of the loud voice coming forth, roaring like a lion out of Zion. For I know Jesus, he taught me, witness to the elders of thy ancestral of Christ. Recognize and understand whom brought me conqueror's crown of salvation. For he redeemed me, loved me back to life, giving me liberation and being free. I will sing and praise thy name of the power on high. Hallelujah, giving thanks to my Father, complete restoration of the health. Singing praise of thy very name, the host thy power, Jesus Christ, King of kings. When and shining forth in complete full armor of the Father, Christ himself, hearing thy joyful noise of thy glory in the restoration of thy streets, of the good news of the greatness of the gospel of thy words, gospel symphony to thy ears. Let them listen and perceive and recognize I got all men singing to one man. recognize and perceive the one that brought me, mighty warrior, Messiah, King, Jesus Christ in very self. I shall sing with my tongue the joyful note